we're running around with our heads cut off.
Siv Zayin. We're in a Sicha of Simchas Torah, Tov Shem Mem Vav. This is a landmark Sicha where the Rebbe spoke about the Nasi Adair being the Moshiach Shiur. And the Rebbe discusses here what the meaning of the word Shaliach is. Shaliach is the same gematria as Mashiach if you add the Esther Keiches HaNefesh. And the reason is because the Moshiach Shiur is the Yechida Shebenefesh. Every Yid has that Yechida inside of him. And therefore the Aveda of a Yid is to reveal that Yechida Shebenefesh by utilizing his Esther Keiches HaNefesh. That is more or less the Techen of the Dini that we learned till here. The very last point that we learned last week was the very well-known Rambam that the Rebbe stürmt about and screamed, and then by Fabrengens, the Rambam in Hilchos Tshuva that says that every single Yid, regardless of who it is, also mitzvah achas, just one mitzvah, and the Rebbe adds here that mitzvah achas could be thought, speech, or action. Just one little good thought could be that very mitzvah that techriya atzmai v'skol ha'olam kula l'kavschos, that changes the entire world. So what does that mean? What's the pnimius of the Sinyan? Why is it that one person can change the entire world? It's not only by chance that the world hangs in a balance, and there's half mitzvahs and half avedas, and therefore it happens to be that you can tip the scale. It's more than that, because every individual Yid is a Mashiach. Who's going to bring Mashiach? Mashiach himself is going to come and redeem the whole world. Okay, now every individual Yid has that Yechida inside of him. Therefore, it's in the power of every Yid to be that one that will bring Mashiach. So it's not just
Reveal himself.
It's not just a side thing that it happens to be that you'll be that last one that will tip the scale. If you wouldn't have that power of Yechida in you, you couldn't bring Mashiach. But every Yid has that Yechida inside of him. A nitzitz cotton, the Rebbe calls it, it's a nitzitz cotton, small, very small spark. But there's a klal, etzem kashat hatefes b'miktzasei hatefes b'kulai. If it's the essence, then the quantity or quality of it doesn't really matter. It's the very essence. And every Yid has that essence. And therefore, every Yid could be that one that one thought will make it happen. That's the last point we learned here. So let's continue now inside Siv Zayin. In dem is faran ad goshen esefes. So here there's an additional thing to highlight about this point. Till here the Rebbe is focusing about the fact that every single Yid has a piece of Mashiach inside of him. Now how about the world? So here the Rebbe says, in addition to this spark of godliness that every single Yid possesses, every Yid also has the power to oif flackeren. You know what that word means?
No.
When you have a flame of fire, that's well, gnite is a little bit of a different word. That gnite would be unsinden. Unsinden. If oif flackeren means that there's a flame, you have to fan the flames of the fire, fan the flames that it should become intense and big. Flackeren was one like it's like raging flames. To use the bellow to get the flames of Yechida in the world out. In other words, the Rebbe apparently does not want to use the term here of unsinden, because we're already way forward in our Aveda where we don't have to ignite. We're holding by a step where the fire is already lit. The Baal Shem Tov, the Rabbeim, they lit the fire. But we then have to come and take that fire that the Rabbeim lit and oiflakirin, to fan the flames to make it even more intense. And that is the Yechida HaKlala Sheb'chol Olam Kulei. There's a Yechida that's really here in everything in the world. That will explain. Everything will be explained. As Eichem Welt mitzad atzma, even the world on its own, faran behelim loshen olam, it's there, it's concealed, but it's there in the world. And nitzitz eliki, the godly spark, versus verbunden mit der hechste darge in Elokus, connected to the highest level of Hashem. And now the fact, that's the chiddush of what the Rebbe is saying here. We'll see the hesber. I mean, we know, of course, that everything in the world has a godly spark in it. Right? The Eibusha creates everything in the world, every single moment. It is Aravaya, that without it, it would not exist. But the inyan of Yechida is for a Yid. The existence of a Yid is the Yechida. But to say that every single entity in the world has under the inyan of Yechida, and you have to reveal that Yechida in everything in the world, how could that be? So the Rebbe says, well, this is actually something that's Yedua. It's known. As the Rebbe continues in the next paragraph. Uki Yedua. Everybody knows. As b'chol nivra v'nivra shebaylam. Every creation in the world is da the nitzitz aleki versus imachayacholo. There's a godly spark that gives its life, its vitality, its existence. Okay, that's Yidua. That the Alter Rebbe says in Tanya. But here the Rebbe adds, biz der nitzutz boire kochatzmos. The fact that Hashem doesn't only give chayas, that Hashem is recreating it every single moment, as we know. That energy of Hashem that creates every single moment is koyach ha'atzmos. Because only the essence of Hashem himself, that's the source of creating Yesh Mayin. Before we get us a Kaddish, as Alter Rebbe says, and he get us a Kaddish in Tanya, is this Havas on Evroim Shabbai Lamazeh, Yesh Mayin. Creation of the world that comes from Ayin is from Mechusay Vatz Musay. It's only from the essence of Hashem himself. Shemitziyusay Hu Matz Musay. He exists from himself. Ve'ena Olol Me'eze Ilosh Kod Maloi Chas V'Shalom. He doesn't come from any other source that causes him to be. He is in essence. That is the source of the creation of a Yesh that's Yesh Ma'ayin. So what does that mean? That within the spark in creation and every single thing, the source of it, the fact that it has the power to create every single moment, is really rooted in the essence of Hashem. So there's atzmus within every single thing that exists every single moment. Just to explain for a second, this Nakoda that Alter Rebbe says, Nigeres HaKadosh, what does this mean? You know the Pshat and what Alter Rebbe says, Nigeres HaKadosh. So the Pshat and what Alter Rebbe is saying is, why is it in nature of creation that things exist and they don't question where do I come from? They don't naturally question where do I come from, and they don't even feel that they stem from anywhere. Things exist, and it's like kanim tzekanoya. It's here. This is it. In Ruchnius, you see that it's not that way. In Ruchnius, the existence, for example, if a person has a feeling, so you can trace the feeling back to a certain idea that he understands. For example, a person has a feeling of love. It's because he must have had in his mind a certain understanding of the goodness of something, which develops a love. Everything that exists could always trace back to a source of what causes its existence. Nothing exists in essence. There's only one existence that exists because it is a true existence, Hashem himself. Everything else, it exists because there's a source that created it. So here's a crazy thing. You see a world that exists, and the nature of its existence says, instinctively, I'm it. I don't come from anywhere. How is that? Why is that? Another example, it says this. You look at a table. You're not going to say, oh, this table just was planted there like this. Well, there's someone that went and took wood and built this table. He took raw materials and he made a table out of it. And there's a famous verse that says about the Moshiach Shiur, he was able to look at a piece of furniture and he was able to see the nature of the craftsman. It was a case of a person that was blind on one eye, and he was able to see the result of it in how the furniture was fashioned. Right, so in everything, you see the source of where it comes from. But the nature of the world is, I am it. How could there be? You can't create something in such a way. Nobody has the ability to create something in such a way that it should exist with this nature to feel that I am it and not even feel anything above it. How is the world created with this nature? Because the Eibishter himself is such a kind of existence. He is an existence of I am it. Therefore, he is the only one that could create such a kind of creation, which is Yesh Ma'ayin, that feels and senses that I am it. That's what it is. So therefore, when you see the existence of the world, the very nature of existence is an indication, or it's sort of a reflection of a koyach ha'atzmos that's present in the world. That's what you're looking at. Okay, so now when the Rebbe says that there's yechida in the world, this is what he's referring to this koyach ha'atzmos in the world.
You say that you only find that in the world?
You only, everything in the world. In every single existence in the world.
Including a person.
Yeah, correct. Mm-hmm. A human being doesn't naturally think and feel about himself that I stem from something, that I come from something that's a source of me, that's ruchni. I'm it, I'm here, I exist. And a person can feel even invincible and yeah, that's the Maisa. Okay, now just, from what the Rebbe is saying, you could understand that the concept of Yechida that exists in a Yid and the concept of Yechida that exists in the world, which is this Koyach HaAtzmos, it's not the same thing at all. The Rebbe is not trying to say, that a Yid and a table are the same kind of energy of the Eibishter that exists in it with the same nature. It's obviously not true. In a Yid, the Yechida is a neshama, it's a revelation of the Eibishter. The world is a creation. A creation means separated from. It's creating a new reality. It's not the same kind of existence. Elamai, the shayrish of the nature of how things exist in the world stems from koyach ha'atzmos. That's what it is, right? So when you look at the pnimius of how the world exists, you're going to see that this is only b'koyach ha'atzmos. A yid, though, is something else. A yid is not the neshama of yid. It's not a created being, b'chalal. The neshama of yid is as galus of the Eibusha. It's Eibusha flowing through him. It's a different kind of concept. Okay, but nevertheless, the Rebbe is trying to point out what? Not we're talking about the neshama, though. It says the lashon regarding the neshama that it becomes a nivra, but that lashon that it says regarding the neshama in a few places in Chassidus, that the neshama becomes a nivra, it doesn't mean the kind of nivra of the world. Not.
What's the difference if it's from Atzmos? If it's the same.
No, it's not the same thing. It's just not the same thing.
It's galus, but it's the same
It's
thing.
not the same thing. If the Eibusha creates something or the Eibusha expresses himself, it's just not the same thing. If you're creating a new reality, which is not you. The idea of the existence of the world is that Hashem has the power to create an existence, which is a new reality that's not him. It's not what a neshama is. A neshama is not the Eibusha expressing his power to create an existence that's not him. Adarabah. A neshama is the fact that it's continuing from him. It's a flow from him. It's like a father and a child. The whole chiddush of a father and a child is that the child is a hemshach, a flow of the father, not a new entity. It's just a different concept. When the Eibusha creates the world, he creates a new existence. That's not him. The shayrish of this concept is koyach ha'atzmos. But the Payal, the Welt itself, is a created to be a davar nifrad. It's not really nifrad, but it's created to be as a separate reality. Now I'm talking about the Welt, the world. Yeah. Okay, but the point though is that there is a koyach of atzmos in the world and everything, a single thing. On das steht nigle de Teire. This idea you see in the words of the Rambam in Nigle. The Rambam schreibt Betchilas Sifrei Shel Halachis. The Rambam writes in the beginning of a Sefer Halachis, V'zart schreibt Alts B'Loshem Brura Beifem Goli. The Rambam writes, as he himself says, that everything is clear and direct without hiding anything. Kol anim tzoim chulu. All. The Rebbe emphasized the word kol. All creations le'nim tzu ela me'amita simotzai. See what in Chassidus is called atzmos. In Halacha language, in Rambam language, it's amita simotzai, which is eightens. Das heißt, that's all in Evrayim. And when the Rambam says kol. So that's I fill out daimim shebedaimim. Not sure what's a daimim shebedaimim. What would be a tzameach shebedaimim? What's the daimim shebedaimim? Daimim shebedaimim. Okay, whatever that is. The lowest level of existence. I guess water, for example, is also a daimim, but water causes growth. Soil is also a daimim, but soil you can grow things from it. But a stone is daimim shebedaimim. There's nothing that grows from it. No life that you see in it at all. Not only do they come from Dvar Havaya, the way which is word, nor from himotzai. They come from Hashem's existence, not from what Hashem communicated, but from His existence. That level of true existence. True existence is only Atzmos. Any other level of revelation is already something that is a result of the source. It's coming from the source. But when we talk about Atzmos, that's Amita Simotzai.
Did you say existence in Yiddish?
Existence in Yiddish.
No, you said that it was existence. What was the word?
Amitas
Himatzah. I'm using the Hebrew word. Amitat Himatzah. In Yiddish, the word for existence is the same. Existence. It's not a different word. Existence. Something like that. Or Faranenkeit. Okay. Yeah. On al pi klal anal. So again, the Rebbe quotes this klal that the Baal Shem Tov says as ha'etzem keshe'at teifis b'miktzasai at teifis b'kulai. When it's the essence, then if you have it, so even if in quantity it seems to be just one tiny hair, but that's the hair that has in it the DNA of the very essence of who the person is. So you have it all. Is muvan as yed den nivras verbunden mit atzmos. The truth is that every creation is connected to the very essence of Hashem. So B'meila is move on. If so, it's understood. We're on page 364, the second column. The kayach v'sayid hot begoloi. This is the power that every yid has, and this is accessible. It's begoloi. Durch dem was is megale dem nitzatz Moshiach b'chinas yichida shaboy. It's in our capacity to reveal the yichida that we have. and this was last week, the Rebbe says, no one should ever say, yeah, of course I have a Yechida, but it's buried somewhere very deep inside my heart. The Rebbe says the moment you say that, that means that it's a lack of emunah, because we believe that everything Hashem created is not l'batala. It could be nothing l'batala. So you're going to say like this, okay, the table is not l'batala. Everything else I see in the world has a purpose. But the deepest thing that Hashem creates, which is the Yechidah, that's l'batala. That's going to sit buried inside of me, and it's never going to become, never going to be applicable, and never going to be. If you believe that nothing is l'batala, for sure the Yechidah is not l'batala. So therefore, it must be that if it's there, it's accessible. Okay, it's begoli.
Well, at least it has a purpose.
Okay. Then you have to utilize, you have to bring out that Yechidah should be applied through the faculties of the person. And that is to oisfiren in the Welt, to fulfill all this in the world, dein Shlichus from the Farsim sein Elokos Ba'ilam, to publicize Hashem's name in the world, durch dem was sein Nitzutz Koton, small spark that you have in your heart, is Megale, dem Nitzutz Koton von Elokos, was is in Yed Zach Ba'ilam. The small spark of Hashem that's in every single thing in the world. This will ultimately accomplish the fulfillment of the Nevuah, the V'niklik V'davai, V'roko Basa Yachta of Kipi Havai Diber. We'll see the revelation of the Eibishter.
In a stone.
In a stone.
Yeah.
Through publicizing Hashem's name in every place in the world, when a person, that for the stone, if you're walking on the stone in the street and you're thinking, Shtusim, so then that stone now, which is holding you up, is you're causing it a lot of pain. You're causing that stone a lot of pain because now the creation of that stone is not being fulfilled. On the contrary, it's going against the purpose of its creation. The stone is holding you up to walk and to not say Divrei Torah. But if a person walks in the street on the stone and he's either thinking Divrei Torah or saying Divrei Torah, so that now reveals what's really the essence and the pnimis of that stone. That's really Atzmos, that is creating it in order to give you the capacity to be a healthy Jew, a proud Jew walking in the street, thinking about your purpose in the world, or speaking a word of Torah. So what happens when Mashiach comes? The Medrash tells us that the stone in the street, if you're going to walk in it and you're going to think nonsense, the stone in the street is going to open its mouth and scream at the person, fool, why are you stepping on me? Why are you any better than me? That's when Mashiach comes. Right? That's what happens. That's how the Koyach of Atzmos gets revealed. Or it says when Mashiach comes and a person would want to pull off a fig from a fig tree on Shabbos, the tree itself is going to scream, Shabbos Hayay. I don't know why anyone would want to pull off a fig from a tree on Shabbos after Mashiach comes. B'shoigig. But even B'shoigig, L'hasad Lavid will be Averis B'shoigig. We once learned about this, the Sicha Barichas regarding Orim Miklat. I'm not sure if you remember. Erev Rav. L'hasad Lavai. They'll still be around. They'll still be an issue with them.
Right, because
They're going to learn Mishnah, it says. They're going to be learning Mishnah.
Okay.
I think so.
Anyway, so the
Next
point there is,
lecture.
this is the V'nigla K'vay Davaya. In the Pasuk, actually, it doesn't say Mamish Daimim, it says Basar. It says Basar. But that Basar is includes also Daimim, and Daimim, Sheba Daimim. Okay, let's see another little piece here. Das is the Shlichus, was is Mutal of Yad Nidin. This is the shlichus that lies upon every single Jew. Although the Rebbe in the beginning of the Sikha speaks about shluchim, shlichus, shliach, but every single Yid has this mission in the world. To verspreiten Elokus Ba'ilam, to promulgate. Is that the word in English?
Yes.
Godliness in the world. Did I get it right?
Yeah.
Okay. This
Verspreiten.
verspreiten. I think that's the word. Bis wird bringen zu der Gili del Asad Lavai. Till he brings to the revelation when Mashiach comes, Hagilui from V'niglik V'davai V'roko Basa Yachtav. Every Jew is known that could say, "Oh, me, I'm the guy that just sits for myself, and I can't. I'm not a darshan. I'm not talented. I'm not. It's nothing to do with that." Here, the Rebbe says, "The proof for this is because the Kepirisha Yedua." There's a famous pshat that it brings in Ayem Yem. Pasik mi Hashem mitzadek gever kanana. It's the steps of a person. Wherever he goes in his life is all planned out by Hashem. As a Yid kumt in anor. So this is a quote. Quote in Ayem Yem. A Yid comes to a place. Is a tzliba kavana. He's there for a purpose. Tana mitzvah v'cholo. Do a mitzvah. A Yid is a shliach shalamayla. Every Yid is a shliach of Hashem. A shliach, who it is the koyach ha-mishaleach. You have the power of the mishaleach that's giving you the abilities to reveal the Eibusher in the world. So this is for every single Yid. This is not unique to a certain class of Jews that are some high class people that have every single year. Mashem Tzadik Over. Every person has his place in the world that he's found in. Hashem planned it for you because it's something you can do there. You go to the place that Hashem chooses for you. Why? As a yid gate in an art. Wherever it is that you find yourself, you go there. Oh, is das nit was a gate? It's not that I went there. I went on vacation. I planned that. I'm planning. You're planning nothing. No mefirtim. It's really Hashem that's taking you there. The Hashgacha al Yaina. It's Hashem's Hashgacha. And the shlichus is l'shakein shmoi sham. That is the shlichus lafarsim alakos ba'ilam to publicize Hashem's name in the world. And here the Rebbe says another diuk regarding the lashon of the pasuk where it says l'shakein shmoi sham. What does the word sham mean? Oich in an art was said angerufen sham. You have to bring the Eivish's name to a place that's called sham. What does the word sham mean? What's the difference between sham and kan? Here, or zeh, or sham. So the Alter Rebbe says in Lekutei Torah, was weiß of mokim haklippes. Kamavur Lekutei Torah. This is actually in Lekutei Torah in the famous Ani L'Doidi Maimer. There, the Alter Rebbe says this type of sham. Sham refers to a midbar, to a place which you feel no godliness at all. It's empty of the Eivishter. What does sham mean? By the Eivishter, everything is here, because by the Eivishter, there's no such a thing as distance. It's far from him. And if from the Hashem's perspective, less asar panim in it, so you're never far. It's always right here. The very fact that you're referring to the Eibishter as it's far from him, that's klippa. That's the existence. That's the attitude of klippa and the existence of klippa. So therefore, the aveda of a yid is to bring the Eibishter to a place of sham. The Rebbe actually once touched on an unbelievable pshat that this is what the Rambam says. The very first line of the Rambam, which everyone probably knows. You say how you say this? Amud hachachmes leida sheyesh. Sham Motzirishin. So the Rambam was maram as this Indian right at the beginning of Sefer Hayad. So when we speak about making a dirbe tachtayim and Chassidus Alter Rebbe and Tanya, so the Rebbe says that the Rambam said it right at the beginning of Sefer Hayad in the very first line. Leida sheyesh Sham Motzirishin. The whole point is the Yediyah, not just a munah, but Yediyah and where Sham. Amazing. That's the Rebbe's touch of this Indian of David in this world. Okay, we'll stop over here for this week. And we should be zeicher to the coming of Mashiach. We'll take it from the Yad Mamosh. In the Sham.